Bravo, Holmes! Good God! Holmes, where are we?
Tread lightly, Watson. This place seems alive and watchful.
Before I go any further, I'm going to give an advance warning that there will be some fairly graphic imagery of gore coming up. I will put the timestamps in the video, but I will also give a warning before we actually get up close and personal, as I know some people aren't really keen on this kind of thing. I will also try to give an indication when it's sort of over, but I believe there's cutscenes and things. But anyway, I'm not going to spoil things too much. Let's continue onwards. Now, I believe in the original release, this puzzle was slightly more difficult. It seems a lot easier compared to what I'm reading at the moment. All we need to do is remember these symbols here. And these ones here. Now, I believe that in the original release, these had to be pressed in a specific order, but all we need to do here is just select the icons which we have seen on the walls, which I believe are these two. And these two.
A box full of pendants in the shape of a pelican. These are brothers to the one found at the Napolis house. Quite useless. These trinkets are nothing but charming decoys.
Nice imagery. Damn it, Watson.
This should prove useful.
It seems like people have been sleeping here.
What a peculiar drawing.
A rectangle containing a cross. Now this will become important later on.
The left sleeve of this costume bears slight traces of blood, and here the pocket is pierced. Aha! There appear to be papers inside.
And there seems to be a fingerprint as well. Okay, well, you can imagine in the background, that is what I'm talking about. Where are you going, Holmes?
That smell. This water contains a strong opiate. Opiate, beyond all doubt.
You are right. This is definitely an opiate. Holmes, could these villains be opium smugglers?
Metal boxes, and here is one that still bears a label. It is in the shape of a flower, which appears to be Edelweiss, and it is black. How remarkable. They are not common. I must take the contents of this box to Baker Street for a more thorough analysis.
Okay, we are done with this section just here, and this is now the warning for the graphic gore coming up. So you can either skip to the end or look away now. You can assume that once we're back in Baker Street, it's all over.
What a horror!
This man was bound with rope shortly before his death.
It's kind of weird that as soon as I entered this area, I've just suddenly seen a spider crawling up the curtain in front of me.
This man's right index finger is coated with dust.
Now, I wonder if it's the same fingerprints that we saw on the flyer.
This man fought hard before his tragic end. The dreadful-looking broken statuette reveals much about his terrible struggle.
This man has a small wound on his left thumb. He must have drawn that strange figure in blood on the torn passport page. This message is engraved in some language unknown to me. I must make a copy of this message before the police arrive. A herd of buffalo could not leave a greater mess than the local constabulary.
I'm not sure whether it's exactly important, but we have a fingerprint on this piece of paper. And now it's gone. Well, mostly.
Excellent. A perfect copy of those symbols.
Bravo, Holmes!
This unfortunate man must have interrupted the kidnappers while they were transferring their victims.
What are you speaking about?
All of the kidnapped people were kept here, and from the look of things, for some days. There must have been a good number of them, so they were drugged to keep them docile. Then, with the vile assistance of riffraff hired by Dirty Summers, they loaded these people into the missing cases from the warehouse. Last night, these poor unfortunates were loaded onto a waiting ship, their destination as yet unknown.
Oh my God! Holmes! Look!
Let's leave this place, Watson. We can do nothing here. See that this is delivered to Mr. Holmes at the Diogenes Club as quickly as possible. Do not leave without his reply, though such insistence will undoubtedly cause Mycroft some distress.
What the devil are you doing, Holmes?
I am sending a letter to my dear brother and including a reference to the strange markings I found on the temple stones. Perhaps he can make something of them. Watson, I must know what was in the metal boxes that we found in this strange temple.
And we will find out now. That last cutscene was... I don't know, why did Holmes and Watson walk up to the altar even though the actual cutscene started or was triggered by something at the altar already? Anyway.
And there, it is done. This is a very fine powder. Perhaps if I apply heat? That smell. Undoubtedly a derivative of opium and morphine. This is the same compound on the ball found at Stennick's place.
How goes it, Holmes? What is the result of your analysis?
Without question, this is clearly a derivative of opiate. Something still troubles me, though. The facts indicate this substance must have been used in large quantities. But no English druggist could provide such an amount. Far too risky. And I do not believe British customs would allow such a large quantity to pass through unremarked.
Well, I am convinced of quite the opposite, Holmes.
How can that be, Watson? Explain your reasoning.
Please remember that as a doctor, I am accustomed to the use of various compounds, including powerful derivatives such as distilled opiates. Those imported from the continent enjoy a special status with British customs, who do not bother the shipments and take little note of the quantities inside. Such shipments are easily identified by their labels. They always bear the identifying mark of the particular medical academy within that country which has an agreement with our own governing academy. Though I can't determine the precise country of origin, I would swear the label scrap left on this crate is one such as this.
Doctor, I will never get to the end of your possibilities. You have solved this little riddle for us. Quickly, and waste no time, we must get ourselves to the custom inspector's office at the harbour.
What, now? Can't it wait for our tea? Oh, coming, Holmes.
Sir, did you find what you were looking for?
Yes, and no. Tell me, where can I find the customs agent?
The man's name is Beddoes, and at this time of day, you'll likely find him on the pier near a ship.
Thank you. You have been most helpful.
Pleasure to be of service, sir.
We've already seen a ship on the way through. And that is the one just here. Okay, this is awkward. Usually I come in from this direction, but for some reason the camera was not playing ball. Oh dear, Philo.
Let us hope that these registers contain what we need. They must be here, somewhere. Aha, these must be the registers. This one concerns special imports. Nothing definite or comprehensible here. All that they mention is that these goods were stored in warehouse 16. I see nothing further of interest here. Best to leave these ledgers as we found them.
And thankfully, warehouse 16 is on the map.
The iron boxes were stored here. A careful search of the place might reveal some valuable evidence. I see no way of opening this door.
Filthy tar, my shoes are thick with it.
Hold on, Watson. These traces have much to tell us. Regard how they resemble those nearby. The size is undoubtedly 7. The shoes are also hard-soled.
That's a very convenient place to lose a key. Now, the idea here is to follow these footprints. You must have stepped in a massive puddle of tar. I mean, surely you wouldn't leave this kind of mess. I mean, I know tar leaves a mess, but this is quite a long trail.
I need something.
Perhaps a key?
Here is a tab. This one is less damaged.
Black Edelweiss.
Excellent. We now know the source of these illicit goods. Watson, we shall now return to Baker Street. There is much to be done. Have we received any word from Mycroft?
It seems to me there is a letter on the table for you. Perhaps it is from Mycroft.
So, the poor devil who lay under this warehouse was indeed the owner of the passport embellished with the drawing made in blood. His thumb was gashed. He is most assuredly the one who made the drawing during his captivity. But what brought him to this place? Furthermore, if this detective agency has any standing, it rests on the reputation of its associates. They are rightly regarded as proven professionals. Therefore, this dying man's last efforts were to leave clues for those who might come after him. Remember, Watson, this man's forefinger was also coated with dust, and we found drawing drawn in that very same dust upon the floor.
Exactly, Holmes. An addition symbol was there, placed within a rectangle.
Let us consider the facts, Watson. A number of people were taken by force underneath Warehouse 12, drugged, and then transferred in boxes by ship to some as of yet unknown destination. For the moment, London has nothing more to tell us. These people, whoever they are, have a small advantage. We should give them no more. We must make our departure, but to what destination? Wait, Watson! I have a sudden thought. What do an Edelweiss and a rectangle containing an addition symbol signify to you?
Well, with Edelweiss, you may be forgiven for thinking that it is Germany. But the rectangle with the cross in the middle is quite the big clue. And there is one country which has a flag very similar to that, which also has German as one of its official languages. And in the flyer as well, we saw mountains in the background. And this country has a lot of mountains. And that one is Switzerland.
Switzerland, of course. Watson, we shall divide our tasks. I shall report the particulars of Mr. Colby's death, as this affair requires the utmost in tact and discretion.
Well, I never. Thank you, I am sure.
Watson, you know I'm impersonal, each man to his specialty. I rely on you to book passage for 2 to the continent immediately. And, Watson, see what you can learn of an institute called the Black Edelweiss and determine if it is located in Switzerland. If this place can be found, I believe it holds the answers that we seek. Now, hurry, man, the game is on.
Hold on, Holmes, you are reading some penny dreadful. Here I thought to find you deep in some ancient news clippings, seeking similarities with our case, and yet you waste your time reading some outlandish adventure based upon some improbable hero.
Beware of considering popular literature as unworthy of our interest, Watson. Besides, am I not myself considered by some of your readers as an improbable hero living out outlandish adventures?
Holmes, you go too far.
Let's not speak on this, Watson.
This horrible statuette gives my nerves a shake, Holmes. This trip to Switzerland, it brings back unpleasant associations, doesn't it?
Watson, those events should remain where they belong, in the past. However, I will not be joining you in Switzerland. When the train arrives in Lyon, I'm afraid we must part company, as I have business elsewhere that will take some time.
But Holmes...
As a doctor, your impeccable credentials will allow you to ably advance our investigation at the Black Edelweiss Institute. My presence would likely only arouse suspicion and harm our cause. I am writing the name of a Swiss policeman on this piece of paper. He is stationed at the village near the institute and is a most reliable and capable man. Turn to him should you entertain even the slightest suspicions during your visit.
And you, Holmes?
As for me, Watson, I will investigate this case from the other side.